Hello everybody, this is a tutorial for making the hostage awareness ribbon in a crochet lace. I'm going to do the miniature size, so this one right here. I'm going to assume for this tutorial that you're familiar with the basic crochet stitches like chaining, single crochet, and double crochet, but if you're not, you can let me know and I'll link some tutorials. So the materials I'm going to be using, we have a size 10 crochet cotton. I'm going to be using the yellow, but this one has the label. And then a crochet hook anywhere from size like really small 1.5 millimeters to like 2.75 millimeters. But if you want to work this pattern with larger yarn and a bigger hook, I'd love to see how that turns out. So as usual, we're going to start with a slip knot. Now this ribbon is worked in the round, it's not worked in rows. So for the first round, you could chain 200 and then work 400 single crochets around that. But what I'm going to do is start with a foundation single crochet row of 200 and then work the other side. So to start that, we're going to chain 3 and then turn around and insert the hook back in the first stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over again, pull through just the first hook on the loop, yarn over one more time, and pull through both loops. So here we are, we finished all 200 chainless foundation stitches, and we're going to continue working not in rows. So we're going to chain 1 and turn, but we're not going to turn and work through the tops of the stitches like we normally would. Instead, we're going to work through the bottom, so it's not going to look like that V on the top. Ignore that. Instead, flip it over and work through that little bar right there. And if before you decided to do a chain foundation and you've worked 200 single crochets in that foundation, it's the same deal. You chain 1 and then you go back through the other side for a total of 400 in the first round. So here we are, we have 400 single crochets ready, and to start the next round, what we're going to do is slip stitch right here into the side, if that makes sense, right? So it's into the first stitch of the next round. Then we chain 2. That chain 2 is going to count as a double crochet. Then you chain another 2 to create the chain 2 space, and you double crochet back in that same stitch. It's like a little upside down V with a bar over the top of it. Now you skip the next single crochet, you work into the third single crochet with a double crochet like that. Then you chain 2. And then you're going to work a double crochet back in that same third single crochet stitch. Skip the next one, work into the 5th, and we're going to go all the way down, repeating that pattern, creating these little upside down V's with bars over them. So here we are at almost the end of the row. We're 2 from the end of the row, and gets a little weird for the turning. So we're double crocheting. We skip 1 just like normal, but then we're going to work in the next single crochets all 4 of them. So we're chaining 2, and we're double crocheting instead of right back in the same place, just in the one right one over. So there's the double crochet. And then instead of skipping the stitch, we're going to double crochet in the next stitch. If I can get my hook in the next stitch, that is. You can see it's very small, it's part of the turning. So there's the double crochet. I'm going to chain 2, and instead of going right back into that same stitch, I'm going to just move 1 right over, and that is the end of the weirdness. It's going to be the same on the other side. That's how we're going to work the turn. But on the flat, it's back to the pattern that you know. Okay, so here we are. We're ready for the last round. We finished the one with the V's and the 2 caps, and I just wanted to show you what that looks like so you're not confused when I'm talking about the upside down V's. You see them. The legs are made of the double crochets, and the chain 2 space is like a little cap on top. So that's how we're going to work this next round. I'm not going to talk about, like, go in the next stitch. It's going to be go in the next V. So in order to connect back, I'm going to start with the pattern. It doesn't require like a slip stitch or anything. It's going to be a front post double crochet to start out with. Now, if you don't know what a front post double crochet is, that's when we come through. See how I'm coming through behind the double crochet? Usually you'd go in the top, but in this case, we're not going to. So we yarn over, we go through, we pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the next 2. So that's what a front post double crochet is. And it sort of brings the stitch to the front in a way that looks nice. Now we're going to do 4 regular double crochets in the chain space. You don't have to work them in like the chains themselves, just put them anywhere in the space. Around the chains, I should say, if that makes sense. And once you've done those 4, now we're going to do another front post double crochet, this time around the second leg of the V. Just like that. So you can see that little shell and how the 2 legs pop forward. So we're going to skip the next V entirely. In front post double crochet into the 3rd V. We have now made it to almost the end. You can see we're entering the part where we did 4 V's in a row. So in those 4 V's that we did in a row that we didn't skip anything for, we're just going to work 4 shells without skipping any of the V's. So here's the second one. And I'm working in the chain 2 space. Front post double crochet right here. And we do another front post double crochet in the leg of the V right next to it. So we work our 4 double crochets in the chain 2 space. Front post double crochet. And now you can see that we have 4 consecutive little shells. We're ready to go back to normal. And that's everything you need to be able to finish the ribbon. But once it's all done, you can just fold it into the shape that you like, and you can sew it in the center. You can add a pin or put it in a bag or whatever you do. But if you do decide to do it, I'd love to see it. So if you could tag me, that would be great.